In today's lesson, we will be discussing order of operations. So what does order of operations mean? It is the order in which you solve a math problem with many components. The first rule of order of operation is PEMDAS. If you do not know what PEMDAS stands for yet, that is fine. That's what we will be discussing in today's lesson. And hopefully by the end of this lesson, you will know exactly what PEMDAS stands for and know how to correctly use PEMDAS whenever solving an order of operation problem. Another rule whenever using order of operation is you always want to solve the problem from left to right. So just like we read our textbook, if we read a chapter book, we always start on the left side and read across the text to the right side. So that same concept is going to carry over into solving our math problems. So what is PEMDAS? A unique way that I was taught to remember PEMDAS and to make sure that I have it all in the correct order is by using the saying, "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally." This is not what PEMDAS means. This is just a saying to help you remember the letters of PEMDAS and to keep them in the correct order. So as we go on through the lesson, you will learn what each letter of PEMDAS truly means, but this is just a saying to help you remember and make sure you have those letters in order. The "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally." So if we look at the P, which is the first letter in PEMDAS, it stands for parentheses. So whenever you are solving an order of operations problem, the first step is to always solve the parentheses. So let's look at an example here. So if you look at this example here, you see that it has parentheses 3 times 6 in parentheses. And we know by looking inside that parentheses, it just simply means that we need to solve for 3 times 6. And that gives us 18. If we look at another example here, you see the problem parentheses 3 times 6 in parentheses plus 2 equals, and then we'll find out that it equals 20. But in order to get the 20, we need to solve for the parentheses first. So we need to look at what's inside the parentheses, which is the 3 times 6, and that's going to give us the 18. And then once we solve that, then we can add the 2. So 18 plus 2, and that is going to give us the 20, solving for that problem using order of operations. And so if we look at our second step in PEMDAS, we know that it is the E, which stands for exponents. And the second step of solving an order of operations problem is exponents. So let's look at some examples of exponents. So if we see this example here, we see that we have parentheses 3 plus 2 in parentheses, and then we have where it is squared, or the exponent 2. So we want to solve this problem. But using what we already know about order of operation in the PEMDAS, we know that the first step is always to solve inside the parentheses. So if we start solving this problem, we will need to solve inside the parentheses, and 3 plus 2 is going to give us the 5. So we can bring down our 5 because we have solved our parentheses. And then now we're going to have 5 squared. And 5 squared is 25. So that is how we would solve this problem correctly using order of operation. So if we look at another example here, we have 3 plus parentheses 3 plus 2 in parentheses squared, or the exponent 2. So if we look at this problem, if we start solving it from left to right, if we did it from left to right, it would mean that we would need to solve the 3 plus first. But judging what we are using what we've learned so far about PEMDAS, we know that that's not true. That we have to first solve parentheses and then our exponent. So if we look at our parentheses, we have that 3 plus 2 again, which is going to give us 5. And then we are going to bring down that square exponent and then the plus 3. So then after we've solved the parentheses, we know that the second step of order of operation is exponents. So we're going to solve our exponent. So 5 squared is going to give us the 25. Then we can bring down that answer, and then it's going to be a simple addition problem. 3 plus 25 equals 28. And that is how you would solve that problem using PEMDAS.